Well, welcome back to Dominate Your Day. Today, I'm with Juli Primeaux.
Hey.
Yay, yay. I'm so
Thank you
glad.
for having me.
Well, I'm so glad you represent, Juli, what so many senior leaders are going through right now. And it's transformation, and we're in a distracted workplace.
For sure.
We heard from Gallup recently that 1 out of 5 employees worldwide are engaged in so if you have 10 people reporting to you, maybe 2 are fully engaged right now, unless they're in a high-performing team.
For sure.
So I'd love for you to introduce yourself to the audience, and then we're going to talk about your story of transformation and what you've been going through with change in your organization.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm Juli Primeaux. I am a leader for a technology solutions company with a staffing arm. Been working there for about 12 years. I've been in leadership for over 20 years. And I live outside of Austin, Texas, born and raised in New Jersey. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a friend. So, all of the things.
All the good stuff.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of you have hobbies and things you do on the side.
I do.
What's your
I went
favorite
to
thing?
culinary school, so I love to cook. Live music is my jam. It's where all my money goes to. This year I hit 125 concerts. Not this year, but I hit my 125 total concerts. And so that musicals,
Anything with music.
Anything with music.
Did you grow up doing music, or were you?
I am the most probably tone deaf person. You don't want to hear me sing at all. I just love it. I think it can impact your mood so much. Like if you're in a bad mood and you throw on an upbeat song and force yourself to kind of dance it out and shake it out, you can completely change your mindset.
I love that.
And I just think it helps you emote too. Like when you're angry and you need to get something out, picking like a really angry song can get you there. Or I listened to pump up music on the way here this morning to prep for the podcast. So yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
I had thought about, my husband put some music on the deck, and I just found myself out there dancing by myself one day. And I thought I needed that. I was getting my stress out. So I relate. I relate. I cannot sing, but I love to listen to music. Is there a favorite band you have, or?
So there's so many. It's such a broad question, but U2 would probably be the classic. Shinedown is a big one that I listen to, but I am all over the map. I listen to music from 60s all the way to today, across country, rap, country rap, regular pop, Broadway show tunes. Like I cover pretty much all of it, with the exception of opera.
Yeah. What's your favorite Broadway?
Oh, so I saw Rent 6 times on Broadway.
Oh my gosh.
But Rent, Les Mis, there's so many to name. Yeah. So
that's good. And your daughter, is she into music?
She is. She's going to musical camp. So she actually just did High School Musical Junior, and then she's doing 6 Junior at the end of summer. So I'm excited for that one, because 6 is probably my more recent favorite musical. So
that's so neat.
Yeah.
Well, when I met you, you all had you'd done your CliftonStrengths as a leadership team. You had been using them for a couple of years.
Yes.
And I came in and we started. One of the things I love is working with high performing leaders and then their teams and helping them really get into, how do we use this every day?
Yeah.
And so one of the things I loved about your team is that you all had already been using it. So you had the language. But one of the things we did was bring in the authentic imprint.
For sure.
And which is
huge impact.
Did it? Tell me about that.
Because before, when you take CliftonStrengths, number one, I'm obsessed. They're like a cheat code for a leader. If you haven't done them, highly recommend them. But, you can take your assessment and find out what your top 5 are and what your teams are. But without authentic imprint, you don't necessarily understand how to recognize and tie in what that truly means to you. Because there's hundreds of thousands of people that have similar top 5s, to me in some way or another, but how we all leverage them and do things is completely different, and how it shows up in them. And I think authentic imprint really gave us the ability to understand, like, oh, I'm an adapter, arranger, achiever, belief, and positivity. And what does that look like when I'm at my best? And what does it look like when I'm at my worst? And how do you navigate that? And how do you pick and choose which ones you're going to come forward with? So before that, we had taken the assessment. I learned the details. You read the words on the sheet and understand the definitions. But the definition is broad until you truly understand its impact on you. So,
and most leaders do exactly what y'all did. They kind of took the strengths, they kind of use them for a while, and then they kind of go in the drawer for a little bit. And some people remember them, but other leaders like you go, okay, we've got things going on, and I want to come in and figure out how we can maximize these.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about your strengths, your top 5 strengths.
Yeah. So again, I'm adapter, arranger, achiever, belief, and positivity. And I genuinely feel that that's what makes me a great leader. When you look at it from a high level, if you believe in what you're doing and you can drive positivity through your team, it ends up with results and outcome, as well as the fact that being able to drive for results through my achiever and kind of work with picking out the right people to put on the right tasks and organizing that team. And so that's really what creates my leadership. The opposite effect, I think I have to watch out for, like, if I am not in on the mission, it's hard for me to wrap my brain around it if I don't really believe in it. So I have to recognize how I can reframe it for myself to buy into it. And then also, as I have grown in my leadership, when you're in entry-level leadership, having a ranger is great because you do need to pull the individual contributors around and kind of get them focused on the goal and give some guidance to achieve the task. But as you're moving up, you really need to give people the space to do it. And being an arranger, sometimes it can make you a little over controlling. So I have to realize, like, what do I care about? Get that out there, and then let them go do to be who they authentically are to bring the task to completion. So
you brought some great points up.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that I heard your belief big time, because you're saying, if I don't understand the mission, so
love it. Also hate it.
Yes. And people with high belief, and I had a leader with high belief. And one of the things I realized is you just need to tell the people why you're doing something.
Huge. I always explain why.
Yeah. And it comes from that belief.
Yes.
And if you don't have that vision, mission, values, then, and this was the piece I saw missing, Julie, when I was working with all these other leaders after I left Southwest and had used it for, 12 years at Southwest. It was like, what's going on here? And I realized they weren't looking at their core values, their mission, emotional recognition. Yeah. And so that's what we worked on. So we had you guys take the assessment, which is the Authentic Imprint assessment. Yep. What did you learn about yourself when you took the Authentic Imprint, which is a free assessment you can get on my
Definitely
website?
Recommend it.
Yeah.
I learned recognize when to pull what forward between taking the assessment and then reading your book. Yeah. The two together play really well. I think it really helped me understand where I should drive from and what I need to bring forward, and explaining even myself to others. So when I have new members of the team, I go over what my strengths are and what that means for me, so that they can understand what working with me looks like. And so that really is what truly helped connect the dots. Because again, before it was like, okay, I can kind of see this. I also got to tell you, you can call it cheating maybe or assistance, but using AI when you want to have a conversation with someone, taking their top 5 strengths and yours and asking AI to compare it and give it the topic, amazing, helps that discussion in so many ways. I'm glad you brought that up, because I think since we've been using AI in the workplace now, 2 years or so? Yep. Since 22, or 23, I can't remember. It just seems like it's all of a sudden here and everybody's using it. Yeah. But when we got to use it with strengths, it was great. Like you said, being able to put your strengths and their strengths. The other thing is, once you get your authentic imprint and you give Claude or whoever you work with your authentic imprint and your strengths, then they're able to guide you as you're making decisions, presenting, all the things. And let's explain authentic imprint. I'm going to go through each area of it. So for your first area, it was strengths. You scored really high in your strengths. You know your strengths. You were very clear on your strengths. Yes. And one of the things I like, we talked about your belief, and you mentioned you're a ranger. A ranger is that person that can go in chaos, which you're good at. Yes. And let's find the efficiencies. Yep. And you said sometimes bringing people along with you could be a basement. Yep. So it's just learning to self-regulate, with your emotional recognition there. What's going on? What can I do at this point? I think that was also eye-opening for me, because I don't know if people feel the same, but I was assuming that everyone could do that. Like I didn't recognize that that's a thing that just happens to be one of my strengths, but might not be someone else's. And it explains so much once you understand it, that when chaos happens, you have the people that are like running in circles frantically, screaming, but not getting anything accomplished. And then you've got the people that are like, tell me what to do and I'll go do it. And then the people who are like, take a breath, let's figure this out and move forward. And so it helped me understand that was like, yeah, when chaos happens, I'm the one that's like, okay, everybody, give me 2 minutes. This is what we need to do. You sit down, stop panicking. It's going to be okay.
There's your positivity.
You're right. Yeah. And getting everybody going in the right direction. So,
yeah. So so many leaders will have them take the assessment and they kind of know all their strengths, but they don't have them like handy, like you just talked about. So that's why you scored so high in that area. The next area is mission connection. And tell me about that. Tell me, 85%, you scored really high there.
It's the why.
Yeah.
You got to know.
And so developing your own personal mission, had you ever done that before we worked together?
No, I had not. Nope. And it just makes so much sense. Now I have always been a firm believer in like, you need to explain the why to people. Because even though for me, it's connected through my belief, for people that have context in their top 5, it's super important. And so that's the other thing of understanding how they work together. But that has been the biggest thing. And then also to the point you said earlier about needing to understand the why. If I keep asking, it's because I'm trying to find the why that I can hook onto.
Yes.
Because obviously I haven't found it yet. I might understand it, but I'm also not bought in. And so being able to understand my mission and why it's important to me and then get the others on theirs is key.
That's awesome. And I think so many times that I love how you brought in I could hear your positivity through all this, because we started working together almost a year ago.
Yeah.
It was August.
Yep.
And we didn't know what kind of transfer. I can tell you every single one of my clients is going through some kind of transformation now. And it used to be every, 6 to 18 months we go through a transition. Now it's every 3 weeks to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Something's changing.
Yep.
And so as a leader, the anchor is not all the external things out there that we try to do. It's what's inside here that I can manage.
Yes.
And how do I navigate that?
Yes, you got to hold on to what you can hold on to.
Yeah.
We've definitely been through some transformation. Our company went through ownership changes over the last couple of years, leadership changes. And number one, lessons learned through all of it. I love being able to work for so many different leaders because you pick up things along the way. I think the thing that makes CliftonStrengths important is that when you truly do become your authentic self, you're not trying to be someone you're not and taking all of the leadership from the person that you're following or your mentor. You're understanding their whys and their impact, but you're making it who you are. And so there's a lot of that of being in the position that I'm in as executive vice president, as our company is going through transitions. I look at it as I need to be the stable one, and I need to be the one that people can be like, as long as she's okay, we're going to keep going, and be able to truly have people understand. And through transformation, everyone is like, what is happening? And how are we going to get through this? And what does this look like? People don't like ambiguity, and not knowing what's ahead can be really scary. And so that is where my positivity and my belief and knowing that it's going to be okay helps me move forward. But it helps in so many ways. Reporting to new people, understanding their strengths now so that I can have the cheat code of how to report to the next person in leadership and how I'm going to work best with that person and what things to maybe avoid or own up to the fact that like, this isn't going to be our best spot together. So it really, in my opinion, has helped things go smoother for me by having it.
That's amazing, Julie.
Yeah.
And one of the things that, we're one person when the leader, you brought up some great points, because if as a leader, if you're concerned or having all this anxiety, your team's going to feel that.
Yeah.
And so for you to be able to manage your team through this transformation, you also have an amazing strength of self-assurance. And so self-assurance just has kind of that internal compass that they're like, yeah, we can get through this. It's like no worries, we'll get through it. But I love that combined with your positivity. It's kind of probably kept the energy going on your team.
Yeah.
Because strengths is all about energy. It's like when we're energized, when we're living our authentic self, we're not trying, as you said, we're not trying to be somebody else.
Yep.
It's not hard.
No.
You're just being you.
Yeah.
And you're not performing because you're just being you.
No.
And
I agree. Being authentic is who I was before I even understood CliftonStrengths or your authentic imprint and what that means. I've always laughed and said, I'm an EVP, but I'm going to do it in jeans. I'm not in jeans today.
That's okay. We've met plenty of times when you were cash.
I can't stand it when you're meeting with someone and you can tell that they're using buzzwords and the things that they've been taught, or you get to run into them outside and you're like, holy cow, you're a completely different person than I thought you were based off the interactions I've had here. I am who I am, no matter what. This is good, Juli. Bad, or indifferent. Here I am. And I know that sometimes that can come with challenges, and that's okay.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I think one of the reasons we're seeing so much burnout right now and exhaustion is people are really trying to perform to a level of somebody else other than who they are. And that's exhausting.
Yes, for sure.
And so how do you manage yourself through all this transition? How have you, when you look back over the last 6 months to a year, how have you kind of given yourself a break? And what kind of thing? Maybe go see a concert, or
for sure.
go.
I do try and plan the next thing. You and I were speaking earlier, and I was saying that August 15th is a big date for me. It's when I will have a lot of people on the team trained. I have people coming back from leave. That's the point that I chose of like, you just need to make it to here. I debated having my daughter make one of those like paper ring chains that I could hang in my office so I could track down to it. But I have already put in PTO for the 16th, 17th, and 18th, and I planned a spa day. And I'm going to do my best to just completely shut off and disconnect, to give myself that level set and come back and be like, nope, got this now. Moving forward, I refilled my cup. So I always... Our team always talks about doing things that fill your bucket. And so on the weekends, I always try and find at least one thing, whether it be live music or floating in my pool or going to see a show, or I love road trips, going on a road trip with the family, so that I can refill my bucket to get myself ready and come whole to the next week. So that's pretty much how I do it. But I try and focus on quick wins also, because when you hit leadership, you're talking about long-term projects most of the time. Nothing happens quickly. And so you can go a week or two and think like, what have I even accomplished? Because you're not able to move the needle as quick as you would want to see it. But there's times to do things fast, and there are times to let things play out. And so you have to focus on some tangible things. Sometimes it's even as silly as like, I'm going to unsubscribe from the 25 junk emails today in my inbox and feel like I've got that accomplished. So I try and pick some tactical, tangible things that I can hold on to in the meantime.
And have some wins. What I'm hearing you say, some wins for the day instead of waiting for August 15th to get here.
Yes.
Which is leaders. Sometimes we plan that next thing and we don't celebrate the day or plan for that space.
Yes.
I heard you talk about a pause too when you were talking to your employees and saying, let's take a pause.
Yep.
We don't know what we don't know.
Yep. It's all going to be okay. One of the people that works for our company has put in 22 years in the Air Force, and one of his jobs was loading bombs onto aircraft carriers. And at one point he said to me, Julie, we're not loading bombs on planes.
Wow.
And that has become my mantra. Like at the most stressful moments, I'm like, I'm not a brain surgeon. I'm not a heart surgeon. I'm not saving a life with what I do. While it is super important to me because I believe in what I do, I also need to just be like, hey, you have a leadership job in corporate America. Like, take a minute and then move forward. But our company does a lot of great things in the community and for people that are in public sector that are leading our future leaders and working in public safety. And so, again, my belief is so tied in to making sure that we're educating future leaders and that the people that protect us are being protected with what we do. So there is a sense of purpose, but it helps to kind of bring yourself back to reality.
So I heard a lot of core values come out in that last. So tell the audience if you can recall some of your core values that you identified during your authentic imprint?
Oh, man.
Do you remember any of them? Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Like, I heard a lot about the why and transparency and authenticity.
Yes.
Those are probably some.
For
trust.
sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Trust is huge.
Yeah, I think I remember that on
Trust
yours.
is a big one. Yes.
Yeah. So those are things that in the authentic imprint, we have you kind of assess where you are. Your core values came out strong. People with high belief naturally have just internal core values. Sometimes they can't name them all.
Yep.
But they know they're there. And it's just the hidden things that how you make decisions.
Yes.
How you apply your belief to the everyday work.
Yes.
So if you can think of examples of that, like when you've been leading your team and maybe just to do the right thing or something happen.
I think it's important to find out, to your point, what is the best and right thing for that's mutual across the board for everybody. And it's a give and take all the time. Meeting people where they are is huge for me, understanding what they're going through. But that can be a challenge in leadership too, because you can't be too empathetic because you have a business to run. And so understanding where other have their values tied so that you can, again, connect them to the purpose is huge. But the people that work within our organization are amazing. It is all about the people, and they are tied to the purpose and what we do and why it's so important. And so I think that really does drive our values and mine.
And probably is what's kept you there.
For
kept
sure.
you energized.
100%. Yes.
When I heard you talk about the community involvement.
Yes. We do so many events giving back. I have, over the last 12 years, soup kitchens, Ronald McDonald's. I've painted homes. I have weeded gardens. I have power washed sidewalks. I've donated clothes. I was on a panel for Dress for Success. I have been a part of so many organizations. I'm currently planning something for Austin Pets Alive with my team. We try and do something tied to giving back every time we go and do a team builder so that there's a balance of appreciation for we get to go do these really cool things because our company supports us to go to escape rooms and happy hours and days out. But at the same time, we should be giving back out of appreciation for that. So I think it's a balance, kind of like karma. You got to give back at the same time.
So what would you advise a leader that is in a high distractible team right now with lots going on in chaos?
Yeah.
How do you lead them to take time?
Yeah.
For culture, community building events, and how do you make that a priority?
Well, number one, I think you have to set the right example. And so that can be hard because you also are in a time of navigating, but to give people the space where they feel comfortable to pause and reset is key. And then, I have found that honestly doing those events, people complain about them up front and don't want to do it. But out of every single one, they come out with such a sense of like, wow, that was awesome. Even if they were hard against it in the beginning. So that's also why we've tied them into our team builders, because there is team building in that sense. And then there's the fun where we're trying to beat each other in laser tag or whatever the case may be. Because in those moments, especially in group activities, you also get to see where people shine and what their strengths are on like who's stepping up, who is making sure we're prepared and supplied and ready, who's the one that really wanted to pick the event and plan it and get us there, who's the ones that once we're there are like, all right, give me a task. I'm going to go put my headphones on and do my thing, and giving them the space to do that. Like, I get it. I like to do stuff with headphones on too. And so it has to be intentional. You have to make sure that you are making the time to do it. And so that was what our company just set out with is, hey, every leader in the company, go do a team builder in the next quarter. When you do it, also tie a service event to it.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think so many leaders think, oh, well, we're cutting back. We can't take an afternoon off and go do this. But like you said, that is where it feeds everybody. So it's not about the money right then. It's about how are we feeding the culture? How are we helping them? And one of the things that you said that I think is really powerful is letting them pick what part of the volunteer project they want to do, because that you'll see a stretch assignment in a volunteer situation and somebody take a leadership role, but maybe they're not doing that at work.
Right.
And so
just stepping up. Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
It's one of those things also of like being an arranger. It'd be real easy for me to be like, here's the date. I'm going to go plan the things and figure this all out. But it was way better for me to say to the team, hey, here's the date. What do you want to do? pick the place we're going to eat, pick the activity, and tell me what service project you want to do. And then once we did that, it was like, okay, who's going to be the one to call the restaurant? Who's going to, and let them go navigate everything. And so, yeah, that's great. It's good. And there's also the ability, we always do make sure that if the service event isn't for everyone and isn't accommodating to everybody, that there's an ability to like, do you want to donate? Do you want to do something that isn't physical labor if that's not your thing? So we try and make sure that it has facets of everything so that you are being accommodating to everybody and what they can do.
What I love about that, and we've talked about this in some of our sessions, is the 5 areas of well-being. Mm-hmm. One is social. Well, you're getting your social in.
Yep.
And one is physical. Well, you talked about cleaning sidewalks or
sometimes you just need to power wash. The satisfaction of watching
painting, whatever.
Instant gratification.
That's right. It's like moving my body.
Yes.
And then the third one is financial, which, each person probably in that situation is not getting it, but community is big on well-being. And so you're hitting 3 of the 5 areas of well-being in that one activity.
Yes.
And right now, accelerating well-being in the workplace is huge.
Yep.
And so as a leader, what I'm hearing you say is this is helping not only feed the community and the culture of my team, but also help them with their well-being.
Absolutely. And you mentioned how do you get people to take the pause?
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No.
They all are like...
They're going to fight back.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can remember back, it was probably 6 or 7 years ago, we would plan these things and I would have a team member that would bring their laptop to the event and then sit in a corner working. Mm-hmm. And it's a fine line of like, I'm not trying to get you to run behind. If it's important, great. But also be here and be present with us. So like get it done and let's come back. And now what we have found is because people are having the choice to choose what we do and be bought into the activity, most of the time they'll take the afternoon off and then I'll see them back online in the evening, not because I'm asking them to, but because they're trying to get up with what they have, get caught up. But when asked, for the most part, they're all like, I'm glad we did that. Even if it did mean it put me a little bit behind.
And Julie, your team this reminds me, high executing.
Yes.
And so they're going to naturally want to bring their laptops everywhere.
Oh, everybody.
Because they want to get it done.
Everybody.
And they're going to get energy from getting it done, right?
Yes, yes.
So being able to have those guidelines for them, say, I know I want to be there too.
Yes.
But being able to give them the guidelines and say, it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay. We don't have to be working 24/7.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. There's a member of our executive team that she is my balance of like, when I have a bunch to do, I mean, she'll be working on a plane, we'll land, you get off the plane, and by the time we're in the Uber, she's back on her laptop. Like she is a task master. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't know how you do it. My brain, I was telling someone the other day, I have a standing desk and I'll be standing up and working. And when it starts to get real busy, I'm like, I have to sit down to focus. And it makes no sense, but I have to. But she can like work anywhere, anytime and just get things done. And so she has taught me, and I've been able to glean some things from her on how to like, nope, you have 20 minutes and you're going to knock these 5 things out. And by like giving myself this short window, all of a sudden I can get so much more accomplished. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So with a bunch of executors.
Yeah. What
is your biggest thing you have to watch out for the team?
Well, communication is key because we often will all go to execute in different directions. Mm-hmm. All making sure we're rowing in the same direction, because if you're not, again, all understanding what the end goal is and the mission, then you're fighting against each other and rowing in opposite directions. And so really that's been the biggest. And then also making sure that we're giving space for our teams to be a part of it, and not just going and doing because we can.
Yeah. So we're just doing this because we need to be doing something.
Exactly.
And so as a leader, if you had high execution, you have to watch that.
For sure.
Because then the whole team feels like, oh my gosh, I got to keep doing it because Julie's doing it.
Yes.
So that's why that self-management is so important.
Yes.
Which brings me to emotional recognition.
Oh, yeah.
So emotional recognition is the one area of the authentic imprint where almost every leader scores the lowest.
Yes.
And this is because we haven't been taught how to do this. Mm-hmm. We've been taught, you think about the generations before us, our parents, grandparents, when they worked hard.
Yes.
And you just get in there and you work hard. They don't know how to relax.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so when it comes to emotional recognition, this hasn't been taught. Mm-mm. So I was like, how can we find a simple way for a leader to manage their emotional recognition throughout the day?
Yes.
So what has helped you to manage your own emotional recognition through different ups and downs and things that you've seen? What have you learned that helps stabilize you as you're trying to navigate disruption?
So I think one of the things that stood out when we did the authentic imprint and going through everything was understanding that when you feel yourself getting angry, stopping and determining where it's coming from and why, and not looking at the situation at hand. Like, I don't know, I broke a vase and I'm angry because the vase is broken. No, you're angry because one of your strengths is triggered in that moment of stress. And what is that and why? And how do you get yourself to tell it to be quiet while you have something else move forward? And it is such a challenge, and I still struggle with it today.
Okay.
So yesterday afternoon we had a situation, and we got through it, but at the end I literally sent someone a text and was like, I need to go outside and touch grass. Like, this isn't that serious. I need to reground myself, because why am I this upset? And a lot of it was just because of lack of control and what I had in front of me. So I think, again, when you get into the place of learning your strengths and realizing that they are what make you run, your emotional leadership and emotional management of yourself can really be unlocked. And then also, again, leading others, understanding their strengths so that when they are in a moment of stress, understanding the emotional ties to it.
Yeah, and watching, whether it be your daughter you're role modeling to, or your leaders on your team, when Julie's stressed, what does she do? What am I learning from her?
Right.
Like you said, I got to go touch grass.
Yes.
I got to go turn on some fun music and go dance.
Yes, now is not the time. Yep.
And it's one of the things I'm trying to really work on myself, and I see this with leaders too, is how do I stop in the moment like you did? Which one of my strengths is getting in the way? Which one should I use instead?
Yes.
And then what do I need at this moment? I think giving yourself that permission slip to say, I can take a break right now.
Yes.
Because I'm getting triggered.
Yes.
Something's triggering me. But one of the things I talk about in the book is that usually it's something from way back when that we learned as a child of how to cope during stress or during whatever we went through.
Yes.
And we brought that into our adulthood.
Yep.
And until we get in the workplace and look at it and go, okay, do I still need to carry that with me? Is that something that's serving me?
Yep.
Have you found that?
Oh, for sure. And you talk about bringing things forward from your past.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, one of the things I struggle with is tying food to emotion. And so when I get stressed, my go-to is food. I want to eat my feelings away. Part of it is because I want to avoid alcohol or other things, but when you're overeating, it can be just as damaging. And so that is one thing that I have tried to recognize of like tying things to that stress wise, like all of a sudden, I need cake. Cake's going to make this better. No, it's not. But so it's so many parts of who you are. It's not just your strength. It's your foundation. It's how you were raised. It's other experiences you've been through. It's everything all together. But so that also can point to it too, of like, why all of a sudden am I shoving chips in my face? Something had to have made me stress out for something, or whatever the case may be. And so, I think most people would tell you when the music's blasting in my office, they know I'm going through something.
But isn't that great? Because you're human.
Yeah.
And we're in an era of a lot of AI, and as you're navigating your leadership team, and you're navigating, okay, what's AI and what's human, and how do we manage that? How are you managing that?
I think that really does come down to me, it being very important to be authentically who you are. I had a situation the other day at the office where I had something on the back of my jeans, and no one was around on my team. And so I went into the break room, and there were some girls in the break room, and I'm like, hey ladies, have you ever seen that thing in Us Weekly where it's like celebrities? They're just like us. I was like, this is very going to quickly show you why you shouldn't ever look at leadership on a higher pedestal than who you are. Cause all I have is a different job title. It doesn't mean that I am any different than you. And so I'm like, I'm going to turn around and I need you to tell me if what I have on my jeans, I need to go leave and buy pants now, or it's fine. You can get through the rest of the day. And we kind of joked about it, but my dad had told me when I was younger, hey, anytime you go to an interview, anytime you're talking to anybody, they've likely had food poisoning. They've likely run late for a kid's soccer game. They have gone through some level of like, they're just a human and we all do the same things. They just happen to have a different path than you have and maybe know something at a different level than you do. So therefore they've reached that level, but it doesn't mean you're any higher or less than. And so I think that's really what I try to show in my leadership is like, I am you. Yes. When this is chaotic, I will go in there and be like, okay, everybody dance it out. We're going to take a minute and get through this together. So I think that I would say that most of my team feels like they know at any given time where I'm at. And sure, you have the professional piece of sometimes you just need to hold it together to get through. But for the most part, I try and just be who I am.
Well, I love the fact that you brought up something from your childhood and then how you brought up the genes situation.
Yeah.
And that's that authenticity and that vulnerability that is so real.
Yeah.
I had a leader yesterday in a team session say, hey, I'm an introvert. Can y'all help me if I'm not? And it's this kind of leadership, like what you're describing you've done and what I mentioned this guy did yesterday is what your team wants to hear from you because they're following you. And I think all of us have something that we've taken from childhood and they couldn't, for me, I was a latchkey kid. So I was always trying to control things because I couldn't control them back then. And now that's a trigger for me, right? What are you trying to control and why? And so it's that we all have something and to be able to share that and openly share that is amazing. And this is why I think looking at your strengths, your core values, your mission, and then, okay, the emotional recognition is that flywheel around it. It's the multiplier. And I love all your ideas about dancing and give me a break. Let me touch grass. So as we think about leaders out there, there's a lot of leaders right now that are just exhausted, Julie. They're trying to be something they're not. They don't have this leader like you are. They might have a really bossy leader that's not being a coach, that's being a boss. What is your recommendation for them as they're growing in their career? You've worked around a lot of different kinds of leaders. How do you manage yourself through that tough time or a leader maybe that doesn't get you?
One, thank you for the compliments. I feel and I believe that it's like I got to this part in life and opened a door and was like, it's all lies. Every single person has been faking it and trying to be like, oh, this is what this looks like. And like, the only way you can get this is if you look like this too. And I mean that in every way, shape, or form, whether it be tied to your physical looks or the persona you're putting on for your role or whatever that may be. And once I kind of recognized that, I was like, what are we doing? Like, that is what is making it so that
so hard.
Again, the future leaders are like, I'll never be that. No, you can be that. You absolutely can. And, you know, like I said, I went to culinary school. There's no reason why I should be sitting as an executive vice president in an IT company, but I can, and I am, and I belong here. And that is the place where I just feel like we have to make it okay. And if I decide to do what everyone else did and put on the suit and act like a different person in the office than I am at home, you know, I'm not doing anybody justice. I am showing that they also have to fit this mold to be this, and I don't agree with it. So that really is what drives me every day, is like anybody. I think that's one of the coolest things about our company is I have come up through the ranks in this company. I have held 6 different positions starting from an inside sales role. And so many people in our company have done the same thing because, just because you start with us as an individual contributor or even in the field as a tech, if you've got great ideas, you've got the brain power, the want, and the drive to do it, and you can execute, why wouldn't I give you that opportunity? Just because someone on paper shows that they can use the words in a different way? So
it's really, and we right now in this society, we're just seeing so much on fake stuff on all kind, TikTok, whatever, social. How does that real break through and stop the scrolling and saying, you know, this is a real leader right here who came up through the ranks. And what I'm hearing is that you hire for attitude, train for skill.
100%. Bet on the player, not the play.
Yes. And the attitude is huge.
Yep.
And I think so many people disregard that because they're trying to be something hard.
Yeah.
And it's so relaxing just to be you.
I know. It's interesting. And I don't know if it's from attending women's conferences, because obviously we've got that going on where we're coming up in the workplace and it's just different for us.
Yeah.
But sitting through a lot of those makes you realize that you're not alone. You are in a community of people that feel the exact same way. And then through sitting in those spaces, I am noticing more now that other women that I interact with are showing up and are like, girl, I just had to run to Walmart and buy a new shirt because my shirt ripped on the way here. Whereas before they would have shown up and not said a thing.
Yeah.
And like, it's just getting to a place. And I think that's also, some of it is the generational shift of what we're learning from the younger generation of like, some of the things that we thought mattered don't, but what does matter is people and their feelings and their emotions. And so I think we're finding that balance, but I do love to see the shift happening.
So you've got 5 generations right now in the workplace.
100%. Yeah.
How are you managing that?
I think you have to, again, seeing people for where they are. I think the biggest challenge that we see, which I don't know if anyone can unlock this and figure it out, please let me know, is the communication. You have the people that want to talk on the phone, the people that want it in email, the people that want to join a conference call, want it in Teams messaging, the people that like don't want to spend more than 2 minutes on it. And so I think that's going to be the hardest challenge of it is the communication. But again, understanding people's skills and what they bring and what their purposes and what fills them makes a difference. And so I think understanding who to go to for what in what situation. If I need someone to pick up the phone and call, I'm not likely going to go to, one of the younger generations that prefers communication through email or text. So I think it's just navigating and understanding.
I think one of the things I've seen with these different generations is they all need something different, as you mentioned, and communication is key.
Yep.
So some teams I've seen, they'll just say, okay, what is the one place we're always going to communicate?
Yes.
And everybody get on that.
We've tried it.
And it doesn't work. Right? So then you're kind of like all over. This is why we're distracted in the workplace right now.
Yes.
So I'm with you, Julie. Somebody solve this.
I know. It's
and
so
let's
crazy.
figure it out because
I feel like it's like, oh, you didn't know that. I'm like, oh, we sent it in an email and it was in the newsletter. And we talked about it on the call, but you know what? I didn't come by your desk and specifically tell you, or, oh, it wasn't covered in a one-on-one, or, oh, I didn't text it to you. So it is one of those things of like the important things we have learned. You can't pick one place and be like, this is where it's all going to be because that person, square peg, round hole, you have to meet them where they are.
And I love that. There's your positivity again. It's like lowering expectations, raising gratitude that, you know what, this is where they are.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to do.
Yes.
This is how we're going to connect.
Yeah.
Because it's just different with everybody.
It is different with everybody.
And I love that. Julie, you have brought so much today to the podcast.
Oh, thank you.
As we close out, what's one thing you want that leader to know that's up and coming right now, or a leader right now that's like you, senior VP, that's just overwhelmed? What's one bit of advice that you've learned that you think would be helpful for them?
I really genuinely think, one, be yourself. You'll realize it's not so scary. 2, you're not loading bombs on planes. Maybe you are, but
not today.
Not today. And then also get the time to know your people. And if you can't do CliftonStrengths, find something similar. This one happens to be the one that I like the most, but any of those assessments on how people function, how their brains work, personality tests, whatever you can do, it is really key to leadership and managing a team. And so don't be scared. And, maybe don't wear your blazer today if you don't have to.
That's right. Just be you.
Do you and do it in jeans if you feel like it. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Julie.
Thank you for having me. This has been amazing.
It's been so much fun. And I just want to thank you because you are really the poster child for leadership right now in 2026.
Thank you so much.
A mom, you have these outside interests. You are being yourself and you're being authentic.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank you for doing that.
I appreciate that. Thanks.